everybody, Ann Powers from HeartSong Quilts. I'm talking about Baker's Dozen, the 8 pointed star, the 11-inch block, the first 4 that we're working on. I got a question about the corner blocks, the paper piecing corner blocks. So I'm just going to real quick, go through my method, and hopefully I can help you guys out. In the instructions, it talks about doing cutting out 4.5-inch pieces of foundation paper and marking them with 1/2-inch lines all the way through. I said to myself, after the first 2, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life. So I decided I would go ahead and make one on a regular piece of copy paper, okay, with my actually 4 1/4, because my paper is 8.5 by 11, so they're actually 4 1/4. We have to cut those down anyway, so that 1/4 inch isn't going to make that big of a difference in the end. So I just drew them on a diagonal like that, so that I could take advantage of the tiny pieces when I get up to this part. So I just made a photocopy. You can make as many as you want. And so I made it a photocopy on foundation paper because it's a lot easier to tear it off. It's called foundation piecing or paper piecing. Either way, it's the same, pretty much the same thing. So anyway, did my squares, and I cut them all apart. What I'm going to tell you guys is that if you're like me and you get confused easily, I'm going to tell you that you're going to sew on the side with the lines, okay? So I wrote sewing side and the top because I get confused in the middle, and there's nothing worse than that, okay? So this way, when it tells you you're going to place your center fabric, your first strip, in the center, okay, you're going to put it so that the top is right side up. This way, you're going to be sewing on that side, so you want to see the right side of your fabric. And then it tells you to put the next strip right on top, okay? I always pin mine down just because in the flipping back and forth business, it's, everything gets flopping all around, and you can't have that. I have a gal who can't stand paper piecing, a friend of mine, and she says it's upside down and backwards, which makes her crazy. So the reason that we like to do paper piecing is that really on these little teeny tiny seams, it's going to hold those seams perfectly, and we're going to be able to sew a perfect straight line. Okay, so that's the first piece of it. I have started, okay, gone through and sewn on more strips. As you can see on the back, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there are stitch lines right on these lines that I've drawn, okay? So I'm going to continue on. The nice thing about coming down here is you're going to have strips in all different sizes as you go through the project, and you will have to make more of these at the end, I hate to tell you. But anyway, so like, if that's going to fit all the way through, then I'm going to go ahead and use that smaller piece there, and I will pin it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it. And what I'll do is I'll sew right there on that stitch line, and then I'll be able to flip it and do it again. Okay, so anyway, just went ahead and sewed this strip on. I sewed it on the back, right on that line. And so what we'll do is we'll fold it up like that, and I'll press it, which we don't need to do because you guys already know how to press, hopefully. And then I'll put the next one face down, and we'll finish this block out. When we get done, you're going to have all these extra all these extra pieces left over, which is awesome because you can just use those smaller pieces on different parts of your block. In the instructions, I'm going to just say, a little confession time. Jen says to make 4 identical, for each block, make 4 identical corner pieces. I chose not to do that just because I didn't want to have that stress of, oh my gosh, I don't have this piece here, doesn't look perfect, it's not matched up perfectly. So what I did is I just went ahead and used whatever pieces that I had at the time, just kind of stuck them on. That's how I roll, guys. So If you're real particular about how those corners are going to be, because I noticed in the picture, oh, he's waving at me that my face is on there. Sorry. Anyway, I noticed in the picture that a lot of the corner blocks, you know, all the strips are the same going around, and I chose not to do that. That was a design decision that I made, you guys. So anyway, let yourself, you know, make those kinds of decisions. No one's going to judge your blocks but you, and if you're happy with it, then I want you guys to be thrilled. I just want this to be a fun time for all of us. Thanks for all your comments, and I hope this helps. Bye.